So when it comes to transformation or an ability, there's always something that doesn't get people hyped. There's always something that doesn't really excite people in terms of the way it looks. It may do something beast, it may have a beast outcome, it may be able to do something beastly. But when you really think about it, you're just like, I don't really like the form as a whole. Like, for example, some people do not like the redhead Super Saiyan God. Like, people do not like that form of Goku. That's probably their least favorite form of Goku. Some people do not like the fact that Naruto overused Shadow Clone Jutsu, and I'm talking prior to when he started mixing it up with like Rasengans and stuff like that. I'm talking back to when he literally just used a basic ass Shadow Clone Jutsu. Some people do not like that. Me personally, I wasn't really fond of it. I wanted them to do something different, but it is what it is. But in One Piece, some people dislike Third Gear. Some people are not really a big fan of Third Gear. But today, guys, I'll be looking at the history of Third Gear, looking at Third Gear, fully explaining Third Gear for you guys. So if there's been a time for you to get your fried chicken and get that Kool-Aid, now is the perfect time, because your UK Trotter Brother Dr. Blitz, the darkest man around, would be fully looking at Third Gear, looking at the pros and the cons of this form of Luffy. So without further ado, let me just get on with this.
We are on the cruise. We are.
Third Gear, the form that helps Luffy increase his power. And this is done by Luffy biting onto his thumb and then blowing hard onto it. By doing this, Luffy is then able to inflate his arm, and by doing that, he is then able to transfer the air through his whole entire body, pretty much making his torso act as an interface for the different body parts. But this is mostly used by Luffy using it in one concentrated part of the body. And this move was hinted back in Enies Lobby arc against Blueno, and we weren't able to see it due to the fact that Blueno couldn't handle the short intensity, the short speed and power of Second Gear. Blueno couldn't handle it, so Luffy had no need to use Third Gear. That was his trump card. That was the final move that Luffy was planning to dish out on Blueno. But we had to wait until July 31st, 2006, manga chapter 421, to see the official reveal of Third Gear. And when Third Gear got revealed, it didn't really electrify the audience. It didn't really capture the audience as much as Second Gear did. Some might say it's due to the fact that they're released in the same arc. Some might say it's due to the fact that Second Gear had more to offer in terms of hype, in terms of speed, in terms of the way it looks. Some might even say that all this form really brings is power, lack of speed, and just another move in Luffy's arsenal. But in my opinion, when it comes down to this form, it was an okay form. It wasn't really amazing. It wasn't really that exciting compared to Second Gear. But when it comes to the cons of this form is really slow, and it really, in pre-time skip, makes Luffy a lot smaller, making him a lot weaker, making him vulnerable to attacks, making him lose speed, making him pretty much a joke for his enemy. And in that case, when he first used it, it was Rob Lucci who was his enemy, and Rob Lucci couldn't take that form seriously. So when it comes down to weaknesses, it has quite a few major weaknesses, but in time skip, Luffy was able to train himself up to the point that he no longer shrinks every time he does Third Gear. And a fun fact for you guys is, in SBS 68, Oda said himself that the Toei board was happy when he told them that Luffy would no longer be shrinking due to the fact that he has better mastery of Third Gear. The board was happy because they hated animated Luffy shrinking like that. They didn't like doing that. It wasn't a fun thing for them to do. And yeah, that really shows you what Toei can be like when it comes to them having to do some animated scenes, some animated stuff. That shows you what they really deeply and truly are thinking when they're doing their scenes. But as a whole, that's my stance on the comment that Toei made to Ichiro Oda. But when it comes down to inspiration, when it comes down to where Oda got the form from, when it comes down to similarities, there's quite a few similarities between Third Gear and some stuff that appeared in other shows, series, cartoons, yada yada yada. And the first one I'd like to mention is the outline similarity, and that is freaking Tom and Jerry. I don't know where Tom and Jerry got this from. I don't know where they got the inspiration from. I dug, I searched, I looked, but I couldn't find anything on that standpoint, because Tom and Jerry, in terms of stuff like that, it's hard to find information and stuff like that, especially trying to find the episode name of Jerry biting into his thumb and literally letting his arm inflating and him whacking Tom round the head with that big ass arm that he has. So in terms of finding that is a lot harder, but in terms of finding the inspiration, the link between Choji's expansion jutsu and third gear is all shady stuff. And when I mean shady stuff, there's nothing confirmed, and I'm not gonna try and sit here and say it's confirmed. There's no verified source of where this came from, but all I do know, it is rumored that Ichiro Oda got the idea from Choji's expansion jutsu. It's not confirmed, like I said, it's not confirmed, so don't quote me on this. It's not confirmed. It is a rumored thing that Ichiro Oda got it from there, and it is rumored that Ichiro Oda said to Masashi Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto, that is it okay for him to use that, and Masashi Kishimoto quote unquote replied saying that it's fine because it's a completely different concept. But I'm not sure how legit that statement was, whether the two said this, because there's a lot of bullshit floating around the internet in terms of inspiration, in terms of where ideas came from. But in terms of that, there's a lot of similarities between Choji and that. And the last one, which is another one that people say inspiration came from, and that is pretty much the inspiration of when Popeye eats spinach and his arm gets bigger, or Popeye's arm, the shape of Popeye's arm in general. People say that's from where Luffy got the idea of going third gear. Some people say that is where Ichiro Oda got it from. But in terms of verified sources, yet again, it is hard to stress where this is from, because when it comes down to that, Ichiro Oda does not interview. He doesn't even show his face. He barely likes talking to the press. So when he does stuff like this, it's mostly on a rare occasion. So him explaining the gears and how they work is rare. It's very rare. But as a whole, when it comes down to this form, in terms of techniques, Luffy's able to use Giant Pistol, able to use Elephant Gun, able to use Grizzly Magnum, able to use Elephant Gun Gatling. He's got a variety of different moves that he can use while being in this form. And also he's got quite a few defensive techniques that he uses, like Gum Gum Balloon, which is also used. And this form is also helped to use in 4th gear. And that's pretty much it for the video, guys. So tell me what you guys think about this video, and if you did not see my 2nd gear video, the link will be in the description below. I highly recommend you check that out, and tell me what you guys think of this video. Tell me if you'd like to see me do a 4th gear one. I just want to know what you guys think of this video as a whole. And yeah, let me just wrap up this video. So please comment and subscribe. I know I say this all the time, but at the end of the day, I'm just saying, please leave a like rating if you enjoyed this video. And yeah, I'll catch you next time, guys. Bye.